Welcome in everybody. This is going to be a full masterclass on how to grow a YouTube channel. First things first, I want to see how many of you guys have a YouTube channel right now. So, okay, about half. A little bit over half. So for the guys that don't have a YouTube channel, I'm gonna show you guys how to start. And for the guys that do, I'm gonna show you guys how to grow. So we'll have some good stuff to go over. So 4 years ago, I started my first ever YouTube channel. As you can see, it was pretty bad. I was getting like 100 views a video. I posted once a week for an entire year. And in that year, I was barely getting any views, which was really tough because I was putting a ton of effort, working every single day. I was going to school, after school, putting 3-4 hours a day just into this, using all my time. And the worst part was that I was simply just making no money. I was a brokey that time. I had no cash coming in, was paying for school, and my bank account was just going down. But fast forward to now, I went from being absolute dog shit at YouTube to now 50,000 on a new YouTube channel in under a year, 22,000 members on school. We were in the top 100 school group in the world, and making multiple six figures per year. So you guys can pocket watch me. Here's my P&L from the last 6 months. We haven't gotten April's back, but it should be about 40 probably. But not only that, we also blew up Joel Kaplan from 5,000 to 250,000 plus last year. And we generated him over $6 million in organic revenue. As you can see, this is one of our $100,000 days. It's happened quite often. We were booking over 100 calls a day at one point, which was bringing in a lot of clients. And I've also had the pleasure to work with some of the biggest names in the space. So this is Paul Hilsey, doing over $1 million a month. Abdul Faruqi, done over $100 million. Tai Lopez, also done over 100 mil. Now, I've not only gone viral in the business space more times than we can count, all these, on short form too, but we've also built a repeatable monetization system that you can use to make millions from organic. It didn't come from crazy editing, it's not boosting videos or using external engagement, and it doesn't require you to have an existing following. And when you grow the right brand online, it'll allow you to essentially make life-changing amounts of money. It will allow you to connect with incredibly successful entrepreneurs. So that's Neil Patel. He runs a $100 million agency. This is just me sending an email, and he agreed to a podcast. And also you get to speak on stages like this right now, which is always fun. Today, my goal is to teach you the 80-20 of YouTube so that you can start to get tens to hundreds of thousands of views on your content and monetize those views into paying clients using a simple YouTube funnel. With that being said, quick warning, when people ask me to teach them content, it's kind of like asking, how do you start a business, right? There's so many factors that go into it, and it's really fucking complicated. That's why I'm gonna show you guys the highest leverage points that you can implement today and almost instantly 3 to 10x your views. So the first pillar on this is you actually don't wanna aim for views. That's really not what you want to do. You have to understand that there's 2 types of channels. And the first type of channel is a broad channel. And on that kind of type of channel, the goal is just to get views. This is where people are making over $1 million a month from. This is like the best of the best. This is the Iman Gadzhis, this is the Alex Hormozis, Simon Squibbs, like all the really big guys use this strategy. But there's also another strategy that you can use, which this one's best for BizOp. The next one is more niche channels. So this is actually the one that most of you guys will probably actually have, is a bit more of a niche channel. Unless you are a fitness guy, then you should go for broad as well. But if you're a fitness person, you want to go for broad. If you're more into business and stuff like that, you want to go more niche. And the goal of this is just to get clients. You have like people like Jeremy Miner, Rabia Buvala, Jeremy Haynes, all these guys. And this is best for niche offers. So right now you guys have to choose. You have to choose between those, whether you want to go really broad or go a lot more niche. That choice is going to be one of the most important choices you guys make because it's going to determine everything. It's going to determine how much you spend on videos, how much time you put into YouTube, and also just how much money you're gonna make. And that brings us to pillar number 2, which is you need to build a conversion video so good that people can't help but buy. There are a few types of videos that convert on YouTube. There is the YouTube VSL, which you guys have probably all seen. This is Iman Gadzhi. This is pretty much every single person who is selling info mainly uses this video. A VSL is called a virtual sales letter. And this is essentially just a video where, kind of like Alex talked about, where it's essentially just you start off with a story, then you go into like the pain points. You'd be like, hey, you have this problem, this problem, this problem. Here's the solution to these problems. Here's how my offer connects back to these solutions. And then you go into case studies, testimonials, and then you go into a pitch. So this is an extremely powerful video. It's easy to make. Really, it takes you like a couple days, to write it out, get it edited, everything like that. Like you can put it together very fast. It goes problem, solution, objection handling, and then credibility plus pitch. And then you push to your landing page at the end. So this is probably the easiest one just to start up like immediately. But if you have more more time, there's an even more effective conversion video that you can use. And that is a free course. So I don't know if you guys have seen this video or any other free courses that have dropped, but these are extremely powerful conversion mechanisms. These are essentially very hard to make, which is the reason why that they are so good, because no one does them, meaning there's a lot less competition. They're extremely valuable. They're 8+ hours of content. You basically want to layer in like a CTA every hour that pushes to the landing page, but you're essentially just giving value, and then you're pitching. And if someone's not ready to convert on that pitch and not ready to go to your landing page, then they'll just keep getting value until you pitch again. And then you essentially capture so many more people than you would with a VSL, because with a VSL, there's going to be a high percentage of people who are not ready to convert. If that person is not ready to convert, you need to give them another option to keep consuming content. And this is what this video does. Because when you make this video, if they're not ready to convert, then they'll just keep consuming content until they are. There's something called the 7-11-4 rule, which is a study that Google did. And they basically looked at how much time someone needs to spend watching your content until they're ready to buy. The answer that they found is they need to have 7 hours of content consumed across 11 different individual pieces of content across 4 different platforms. With that, this is the easiest way to get them to that 7-hour mark, because again, they're gonna spend hours and hours with you instead of just 10-20-minute YouTube videos, 60-second Instagram reels, Instagram posts, whatever it may be. So this leads to a lot easier closes, higher trust, and huge organic reach. Another huge benefit of this video is that it also goes viral. Like this video got 4.8 million views. A YouTube VSL is probably not gonna do that unless you're Iman Gaj. But this one, this is Jordan Bowen. He had literally less than 100,000 subscribers when he posted this video. And now he has like 300,000-400,000. And then you have option number 3, which is a story video. This is a story video from one of my clients. This one video made him over $100,000 in cash. So these videos are extremely easy to make. It's literally just a 15 to 20 minute story video that tells your transformation, kind of like how you're doing on Instagram with what Alex talked about. But this one is on YouTube. It's much longer form, and it allows people to really resonate with what happened to you because they're in a similar situation, and resonate with the transformation. And when they do that, you can push them to your IG and then close them on through DMs. You can be like, DM me for support, DM me to get help, right? Something like that. And it's very emotional. People buy when they're in a very emotional state. So this is the best video for that, especially if you run like a fitness offer, which I know a lot of you guys in here do. This is probably what I would recommend, because the free course is a bit harder to apply to you guys' niche. You can still do a free fitness program and stuff like that, or like a free like workout guide, but it's just not gonna be as effective as like someone teaching information. This is a much better video to do. So this video is going to be the backbone of how you will make money from your organic. Here's mine, how to go from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in 2024 for free. I need to change that to 2025, but still converts for me. And this is how I grew the school group, right? So this has 25,000 views and the school group has 22,000 members. So this has an extremely high conversion rate on it. And this is how my funnel works, is I basically had people go from this video to my school group where I have a DM setter, go through and set them into a call, right? That's how the entire funnel works. And this is by far the best way to do it. You could either post an announcement video like this if you're doing a free course, send them off platform, or you could just post the entire free course on YouTube. How I did it is I basically posted the trailer first. I posted that like for 3 to 6 months just to capture everyone's email who was ready to opt in. And then after that, I launched the whole course on YouTube to take advantage of the growth. I would recommend doing both, but do this one first, launch a trailer first, and then launch the course if you are gonna do the free course. All right, so now it is time to go viral as fuck. So pillar number 3 is you need better ideas than anybody else in your market. So this is really the key with YouTube, is all about ideation. The 80-20 of YouTube is ideas, titles, thumbnails, and intros. If you get those things down, then you are essentially going to get really, really good results, even if your videos are not the best. Even if you're just recording on an iPhone, sitting down with preferably like a nice view, but it's just raw, no editing, stuff like that. If you have a good title, thumbnail, intro on that video, it can get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. That's the 80-20. 80% of the results come from 20% of the work. We spend about an hour a day on ideas for all of our channels, which is a lot. I don't recommend that you guys do that. The more, the better. You want to dedicate at least 90 minutes per week to coming up with ideas. For you guys, I think about an hour to 90 minutes is the perfect amount of time to spend ideating on YouTube. Just sit down, have some thought like once per week. As you can see, here's how I do it. I have just a Notion board where I just literally write out ideas. I look at other channels and stuff like that to try to find ideas that I think would work well. The ones that I like, I check off, and then I have my team check them off as well. We see which ones we all like, and then we make the ones that we all like. If you don't have a team, you can just add some friends, even some people here, right? You can just be like, hey, let's review each other's ideas. Really, really simple thing to do. This is by far the highest leverage task you can ever do on YouTube. And you want to essentially ask these 5 questions to yourself when thinking about making a video. So you want to ask, does this video excite site first off. And then you want to ask, can you actually make the video? Is it actually possible, right? Like we had an idea for Joel one time. It was like going from 0 to like not leaving my bedroom until I make 10K a month, something like that. Like that video would do well, but the problem is it's just like a bitch to do, you know, like, yeah, no one's gonna do that video. So like we just can't cut the idea, right? Is there evidence to match view expectations? So what you wanna do on videos that you're thinking about making, you wanna look up that title and see if there's other similar videos that have done well, not necessarily in your niche, but in other niches, where it's essentially you're like, okay, this video, this concept actually can get views. And there's actually a huge kind of mindset shift where you don't want to think about YouTube in terms of your niche. Like let's say you're making fitness content. You don't want to think about fitness content in terms of let me look at what's working in the fitness niche. You want to make fitness content by looking at concepts that are working across the entirety of YouTube. So you want to look for concepts like, for example, a really good concept that you guys might have seen recently is I did X to prove it's not luck, or a free course. That's another concept, right? So the people have like, I started like 6 businesses in a row to prove it's not luck. Like Alex Hormozi's using that one a lot. But you could be like, I got a 6-pack to prove it's not luck. You can take those concepts that are used in other niches and bring them back to yours. And that's how you need to think about YouTube, is in terms of concepts that are working, not in terms of what's working in your niche. Last question that you want to ask is, can you package this? Can you actually make a good title and thumbnail for it? So let's say that you have, I got 99 problems, but going viral ain't one, right? Like that's one of the ideas here. So let's say like that video, I could have me with maybe like a graph going up in the background, and then like, you know, your channel, like maybe like a little box that says like your channel 100,000 subscribers, something like that. Like I could package that video. But let's say like if you do a video where it's like, this video is about nothing, or if you do a video where it's like, I don't know, like just some random idea where it doesn't really make sense, you can't package it well. You want to have interesting packaging for your videos. So you just want to think about, can you actually package it? And then last question you want to ask is, does it have broad appeal? So is the video applicable to a lot of people? And if the answer is yes, then it makes sense to do it. The only caveat with this is if you have a niche channel and you're just making like very niche content, like for copywriters, you don't really need to think about that one as much because it's just not going to apply to a lot of people. So here's some examples of just some of our ideas. Like we come up with a lot of ideas essentially. The whole idea behind this is niche comparison theory. So niche comparison theory is you don't want to copy within your niche. We kind of already talked about this a little bit, because you'll only ever be second best. And you essentially want to make a list of niches with a similar audience to yours. This is the best way to go about YouTube, is you want to look at niches with a similar audience. Let's say copywriting for an example. Perfect niche. You essentially want to take other niches that have the similar desire to make money online and look at those for inspiration. So you could look at finance, you could look at SMMA, you could look at dropshipping, you could look at Amazon FBA, TikTok Shop, all these different kind of niches, and then take the ideas that are working in those separate niches and bring them back to copywriting. Because if you take an idea from copywriting, you're only ever going to be the second best copywriting creator. So yeah, you want to find videos in these niches with a high view discrepancy. That means look for videos that have extremely high views but low subscribers. So let's say that the person has 9,000 subscribers, but their video has 300,000 views. If they have 300,000 views, then that means that that video probably, if you bring it back, is going to work extremely well for you. So look for those videos. Those are what we call outlier concepts. So you can take these concepts back to your own niche, you get proven views, no competition. And next pillar on here is essentially have to have better packaging than anybody else in your market. So this is where thumbnails comes in. Now, what packaging consists of is title and thumbnail. That's the thing with packaging. So this is a thumbnail by one of my good friends, Mehdi. He's a coach in Dubai. As you can see, he has way too many elements on the screen. This thumbnail, objectively, it's a good design, right? Like it's edited, he's got text on there, he's got edited concepts in the background. But the problem is that he literally has a striped dashboard with like 3 separate views. He's got this view, this view, this view. Then he has 2 separate bubbles that pull your focus. And then he has a type form over here. It's a little bit hard to see on this screen because it's so blown up, but he also has a funnel page. He also has a person, and then he also has text with my strategy. So once you break the thumbnail down like that, you can see that it's impossible for someone to understand this in the split second that they have, because there's about 9 focus points on this thumbnail. You have about 0.02 seconds to catch somebody's attention. This thumbnail is never gonna do that because the thumbnail is not clear. There's so many areas to focus on and understand that no one's going to take the time to do that, which is essentially going to just make this video get 195 views. So this is where we bring in something called the 3-element rule. While it's not the most pretty drawing, this thumbnail would work way better. Obviously, it wouldn't look like this, but essentially text in 90 days, net volume from sales, 184K, right? Like if Mehdi literally did that with him here, that there, there's 3 elements on the screen. That is really the most amount of elements that you should have on your thumbnails. You have a stripe screenshot, you have the person, you have text, boom, done. People can understand that easily. And you can see this with almost every big creator. You can see this with Iman. He's got himself, the car, the text. Ali's got him, the keyboard, the words per minute. Jack has just 2, even simpler, him and Rebirth. Really really, really simplify your thumbnails, especially if you're in the fitness space. This is extremely important. There's this one thumbnail, I don't know if you guys have seen it, where it's like the guy holding up like a syringe of steroids. For thumbnail design, there's something really, really important to understand. It's extremely hard to design a good thumbnail by yourself. Photoshop is one of the most complicated softwares like out there. It takes years and years to get good at Photoshop. What you need to do is literally just pay somebody. Thumbnails are the cheapest thing that you can outsource on YouTube. Literally just go on Twitter and you pay someone like 50 bucks to do a thumbnail. Pillar number 5 is write better intros than anybody else. So this is the last part of the 80-20. I've given you guys the ideas, the thumbnails, titles, all that. Now it's going to be intros. So this is extremely important. With an intro on an educational video, you want to aim for over 60%. So you want to aim for over 60% retention. This one got over 60%. There's basically a framework to pretty much guarantee you get over 60%, because what happens on YouTube is, as you can see, there's a huge drop off in the beginning, but then it levels out and becomes flat. If you can lower this drop in the beginning, the entire video raises. So that's why it's so important. In the first line, you want to immediately confirm to the viewer that this is the video that they actually clicked on. So what that means is, if you have a video that's like, how I got jacked in 90 days, you are gonna start the video by flexing and saying, this is how I got jacked in 90 days, or I got jacked in 90 days, something like that. That's gonna always be the first line. Another thing that you need to make sure you have here is credibility. That could be visual, so just you looking jacked. Then line 2 is going to introduce new narratives or unclosed loops. So what this means is that you are essentially going to open a loop in the viewer's mind. And this is one of the most important parts of YouTube. Same thing with short form too. It's essentially raising a question in the viewer's mind that's not being answered yet. So what that does is it creates a loop where they have a question that hasn't been answered, which creates a feeling that they want to answer the question, right? They want to get that question answered and they haven't yet, so they stick around. So you want to open a loop in someone's brain, because when they close that, they're going to get a hit of dopamine, and they know they're going to get a hit of dopamine, so they want to stay. An example of that could be for the fitness space. You could be like, and I got jacked using a simple process that anyone can follow. Now the person's wondering, what is that simple process? Then line 3 is going to be to make sure that you set the right expectation for the video. So what this would be for education, let's say that you're doing like a copywriting video, you could essentially say, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to land your first copywriting client and make 3 to 5K in the next 14 days, something like that, right? Now, obviously you have to be careful with claims and stuff, but that's a very good way to do that. And now that person knows that they're going to have that, what they're going to get in the video. And then line 4 is just establishing your singularity. So there's 2 things you can say in line 4. Line 4 could either be your mission statement. So for example, my mission is to take 1,000 people to over 100,000 subscribers. So I say that in my 4th line, or it's just simply establishing why you're different than everyone else. So that's the 80-20 of getting views. That's the concept I was talking about. This is boring, but you hit 1,000 subscribers, was 1 to 10. This video now has over 700,000 views. All right, but now we need to make money. So that is where we build a content funnel. This is how you guys are gonna make cash. So the content funnel is turning viewers into paying customers, right? And you are essentially going to post videos to get traffic. You're gonna keep posting those broad videos, get traffic. What I recommend is posting a mix of like really broad videos, slightly broad videos that maybe target some more specific problems. And so that, for example, in the gym, that could be like a video on how to get jacked versus a video about how to grow your biceps. And then you also want to post a 3rd type of content, which is more like case studies. And that could be like someone that you've helped get jacked, or someone who you've helped get to like, 10K a month with copywriting, something like that. You're gonna post those kind of 3 types of videos, and then you're going to CTA in those videos to send people back to your conversion video. So I actually like to do 2 CTAs. I've changed this up a little bit. I like to CTA around like minute 5 to direct landing page, just direct to the offer. So every single video brings people to my landing page. But then at the end of the video, which is the main CTA, I send people back to the conversion video. So I'll have a clear value add. I'll be like, hey, so now that you know how to make good YouTube thumbnails, if you want to learn how to actually blow up your channel and get to 100,000 subscribers, I put together a completely free YouTube course that shows you everything step by step. Go ahead and watch this video next to see how it looks. That's my main CTA. And then you also want to send all your short form content directly to your conversion video as well. Like Alex was talking about, you can send like your short form, you can send your Instagram stories to YouTube videos, and ideally you want to send those to your conversion videos. So that could be your story video, could be your VSL, anything like that. And this nurtures the audience, builds goodwill, and it pushes them to your landing page. So the in-screen CTA looks something like this, but consistency and good ideas are just the first step in mastering YouTube. That's exactly why I put together a free YouTube University with over 12 hours of content showing you everything that you need to know in order to build a YouTube channel to 100,000 subs in 2024. So check out this video where I show you what you'll learn, how to get access, and how to use the information inside to turn YouTube into your full-time career. So that's just an example of an in-screen. And this is what it looks like in the funnel. Very simple, just YouTube videos, conversion video going into your funnel. Very, very simple. All right, so another example, because I know a lot of you guys have like more like lifestyle stuff. I just wanted to cover this really quick. Lifestyle, you're gonna wanna separate it into two channels. This is the best way to separate lifestyle. So this is someone who's been blowing up recently, Brez. He's crushing it. Some of you guys might know who he is. Basically, all he does on one channel is he has vlogs on one channel. He doesn't do any kind of conversion videos. He just does lifestyle vlogs on one channel. That channel is blowing up. And if he posted one of these videos on there, it would do well, but it wouldn't work. Like, you need to have two completely separate audiences. If you're doing lifestyle content, make all your lifestyle content on one channel and then push it to another channel where you talk about how to scale a business and how to do whatever you need to do, and then book that into coaching. That keeps goodwill with your audience. All right, and that is it. That's the presentation.